Hmm. I guess the show did pretty good last year. I mean, the bonus check is nice.
Wait. You got a bonus check?
Oh yeah. It came with last week's check over here.
You get paid? Oh, this is bullshit.
Coming up on LinuxGameCast Weekly, Nuclear brings the compatibility, apps invade Steam, AMD accidentally creates a working driver, and Diablo makes with the open. Then we throw the chairs at the last Federation. All this, plus your 8 mail. Let's go. And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. This week is no exception. Big show, all that fun business, but joined every single week. Check him out. Canadian, no hockey stick, but he's equally as violent and all the way across the pond. Pedro Martinez, the Giggling Death. The man goes by many names, and we're joined by Chatrealm, Dynamic, and together we form a bit of a Linux gaming cocaine Voltron. But before we get started, gentlemen, we do like to catch up and see what's been going on in our life organs. J-Man, you're watching new things.
Yeah. After getting bored, I finally decided to start marathoning Orphan Black, and it's pretty good. The lead actress is actually really, really believable as like multiple people.
It sounds racist.
It's very racist.
P-Man.
And British. And it takes place in Canada. It's super weird.
Good news, hopefully on the jump front, because I let in an interview on Monday. It's across like almost the opposite side of the country, so I'll be going up north on Monday. Hopefully this is the one. Hopefully, please.
You say that now, just like you say when you have every interview, and you're never gonna get a call back.
You gotta maintain hope. And over here at LGC Actual, switching the boards, I picked up a new EP Extendotron wireless gaming gerbil. Well, not wireless, wired. I'm so used to saying wireless. The Logicrop G500S came with a tin of snacks that I don't really approve of. Already chipped a tooth on one of those. Kind of like it. Neat features, but, you know, I don't necessarily like whoring out products. So, J-Man, do we have a, like, maybe a little bit of an announcement, or how are we doing this?
How are we doing this? Oh, I thought we were just gonna go right to the whoring.
Then do it.
All right. He doesn't like whoring products, but he loves whoring our product. Check out LinuxGameCast.com. Click on our forums button and join Chatrealm's statically linked, where we are the other 6 days of the week. You can sign up with your Identica or your Facebook or your Twitter account. It's all good. But of course, if you want more of our lovely faces and equally lovely personalities, you can check out youtube.com/LinuxGameCast. We have a new players up for Foul Play. You should check that out if you like talking about Christopher Eccleston and how much of a cunt he is. And speaking of cunts, we have our Facebook page run by illegal Mexican immigrants. Check that out at facebook.com/LinuxGameCast. Oh, he got that one. That's cute. That's cute. And of course, for more Linux gaming debauchery, you can always check out our favorite subreddit, Linux_gaming. What's on tap this week? Ooh, the Loki port of Sid Meier's Alpha Sympatari works on Ubuntu 14.04.
With sound.
Loki ports actually work still. Shock among shocks. But of course, you know, you hate starving orphans in Africa. You hate disaster relief, and you just want to give your money elsewhere. You should hop on over to our podcast page, linuxgamecast.com/podcasts. Getting a recurring donation by clicking any of those buttons gets you a mention on our producer credit. You get to show up at the end of the show. Well, not you, but your name. But, you know, if you don't want to give us recurring money and just want to throw away all of your money in one fell swoop, you can give us a one-time donation and join the glorious Linux Gaming Master Race.
So,
and, Eric Zingos gave us about Tree Fitty this week, didn't he?
I believe all the way from down under, so he's having to translate that. And sorry about the whole Hitler thing down there in Australia. I mean, that was a nasty business, wasn't it?
That was very nasty. But you know what? Speaking of nasty Nazis, if you want to host nastynazi.com and you need a place to stick it on the internet, you should check out HostGator.com.
Well, no, shouldn't we go to GoDaddy?
No, because we hate the Jews, but we love elephants.
Oh, right.
Apparently.
So
yeah.
Schnappy says, Jews are awesome because, Jew. Unlimited disk space, unlimited bandwidth, easy control panel. Try the demo. They got it there on the site. One-click script installs. And they're going to give this business to you starting at 3.96 wet stinky caches a month. And if you join right now, you get an extra 20% off. But you know what I got to say to that, J-Man?
That's an awesome deal, and you're not going to...
Wrong! LGC Week FTW. Enter that awesome Seizuretron code of seizureness at checkout, and nay, not 20%. We'll give you full 25% off in your brain organs. You can use that to create any type of website you want. So you want to create
especially in nastynazis.com.
Nasty Nazis. If you want to create like a Rule 34/Mel Gibson fan site, whatever you want to do. You got to
bring your own domain name, though. That's the one catch.
Yeah.
Right. That is the catch, but you already got a name. You named your cat, you named your horse, and that's just a bit weird. But LGC cares, and we do not judge you.
But, we can't talk about the horse just yet, but we can talk about something rather humbling.
Gather round, chillins.
So, I exclaim at you, what games in this Humble Weekly sale support Linux?
Tell us, Uncle Vin. Tell us.
How my favorite cracker's doing this afternoon on LinuxGameCast. No, this is a real thing. This was brought to my attention because, the Hums is like, boom, email, we got a new thing. And I was like, yeah, all right, let's check it out. I bought a Nexus 10 2K screen, all that business. I whip it out. Then I take my tablet out and take a look at this and on the tablet. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'll pick this up. I don't see anything here. And, normally I'll scroll down here and look for something in red because they're like, except for this and this and this. And I don't see any of them, big thing. But, lo and behold, this. Hang on. That. What are we at? 250% zoom. It's an exclamation point.
I don't know.
Now, apparently, exclamation points mean things. So if you mouse over, reading for not available for Linux. Not available for Linux.
Yes, it is.
Not available. Well, see, it's also wrong.
Yeah.
But that has a little DRM-free icon. But way to fucking obscure that to high hell.
No, but I mean, this is just also available on Steam and available for Linux as we're looking at Reyes, because I'm
so that's doubly wrong.
And that just pissed me off because I'm on the tablet. But if you scroll all the way down here and it's not highlighted, ready to whatever, you can check out. Yeah, this should be like right there at top. But I don't need to sort through all this. Why don't you just go back to putting the damn...
Because how else are we supposed to sell shit to Linux users?
Fucking trickery is all I'm saying. This is dark magic. I mean, the last time I saw anything this heinous, we got a new savior. But look, Linux users are responding to this bullshit. So humble, fix your business. This is broken. And the whole fact that you have to go back and make exclamation points about things not being DRM free or supporting Linux is because that's how you started and you went, we could probably make some more money if we just said, fuck that business. And
you sold out, man.
I liked you when you were underground, man.
They did.
So, J-Man, where's that horse at this week?
That horse is a bit radioactive this week. I mean, it's glowing again. Thought we scrubbed it down, but apparently it took a dip in the waters of... crap, the name of the place in Japan escapes me right now.
Fukushima.
That's the one. But it's our Steam
Lex
Update
of the week.
And Pedro, it's pronounced
Yes.
nuclear.
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 Apparently, it's either nuclear or nuclear.
Nuclear.
Either way, it's
pronounced
Nuclear Dawn,
nuclear.
major update version 7.1, plus on sale this week at 75% off. And the big news regarding this update is that they have released the full Linux version, and you can now play on Linux with the folks playing on Mac and Windows. So, yeah, we're a bit late to the party.
I'm looking at this, B-Man, and it says enhanced Linux. English. Come on. We don't have, like, a superior version.
No. Enhance.
Yes,
Enhance.
it's enhanced.
Zoom.
But, yeah, you can now
Enhance.
play with everyone. So we are now officially invited to the party, although a bit late.
Why is that even a feature? I have to ask that. I mean, multiplayer is just like, it's a protocol. It's not like
It is.
there's
And it
no
is the
specific-
source engine. That's the silly thing. It's the source engine.
Well, we
so
do
the
have to remember, gentlemen, that this game has been, like, cancelled, bought, and sold through different companies. So
Yeah.
we're talking like...
it's the IP hot potato, as
Yeah,
it were.
this is not the first time somebody had to walk into that mess of code and go, all right.
What's all this then?
So that's the thing. Nuclear Dawn is available. It works. I don't have any issues with it. I mean, it always worked, even in beta mode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can't say anything against it.
Not at all.
Yeah, Rube.
Yeah, so do you kids like
You're a
Rube Goldberg machines? If you don't know what they are, they're those stupidly complex machines that perform very, very simple tasks. And this is a game where on your PC, you can craft it's Unity.
Of
You
course
can
it's
craft
Unity.
Rube Goldberg machines to solve puzzles. But then you scroll down and you notice the review section, and you see some reviews from Touch Arcade and Pad Gadget Giggity. And you realize this is not a PC game, is it? It's a tablet game.
Oh, you're
Someone
saying that
ported.
this is not the... Well, that's something I was looking at. As I looked at it, me and J-Man were talking before the show. It was like, that looks kind of neat. And I was like, yeah, all right. You can feel tablet-y games at this point. You can also feel Unity games. I put 2 and 13 together, and in the Play Store on Googs, it's 2 wet stinky caches. On iTunes, because you're paying the Apple price, $2.99 wet stinky caches. And, lo and behold, for clicking export and uploading it to Steam, you get to pay £5.
Oh no, it's on sale
yeah.
now until April 29th for the Mac price, the iron price, as it were. But if you like having your sausage and eating it too, this is not the game for you.
So you're saying I shouldn't scroll down here and look for full controller support? No.
It's single player. That's it.
P-Man, are you going to pick this up and
No,
not touch your
I'm
monitor?
not. And
Right.
at this point, it basically just Steam has become the best place that anyone could ask for, especially Unity developers, in order to make a quick buck. It's fucking annoying.
I think another thing we touched on, Jim, and I mean, at least I touched on in the show notes, is like, shouldn't we flag stuff like this and be like, better with touch because it was a mobile game?
Yeah, are we gonna
Yeah,
have this
there
trend
was a
now
thing
where
about
developers are gonna be
flagging.
recommending you get like a touch monitor for these fucking games?
Of course,
Yeah.
man. I can pick up a 30-inch touch monitor like this for more than I make in 2 months. So, TikTok.
Ben, I know you
TikTok.
love point and click
TikTok.
adventure games
Clockwork
and hidden eye
Tales
adventure games.
of
So this
glass
is
and
Clockwork
ink.
Tales of Glass and Ink. And as Ven points out, this might look a little familiar to you.
Nope, never seen it.
Never seen it before. It's part of the premium adventure collection.
Lies.
And you might realize if you scroll down to the developer, it's Artifacts Mundi. Where have I heard that name before?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I was like, that's a fucked up name, I remember.
No, it's the same guys who made that game we reviewed, Nightmares of the Deep, otherwise known as an exercise in why you shouldn't put women in
Why
charge
don't you
of
read out
games.
that very informative description of the game?
All right. Clockwork Tales is an adventure game in the steampunk genre. It is a detective drama featuring action elements such as espionage, monster battles, and even hang gliding. Dear God, this reminds me of like the AD&D Ninja Handbook, where you could like fucking have a guy flying on a kite and attacking from that.
Ninjas totally flip out and kill. And sometimes they fly. No, they fly, and sometimes they stab.
You know, it's a continuing string of earthquakes that are causing world cities to crumble and ruin. And Dr. Ambrose Inc., one of the foremost minds of the technological revolution, hopes to expose the underlying cause.
All right, that's enough of that. You've
supernatural
made your
phenomenon.
point.
Because earthquakes are caused by God and the devil duking it out.
So this comes at 30% off, $5.59, right?
How much is this game? This is
30% off.
$5.49 on sale, $7.99 regularly.
I was looking at this. P-Man might want to feed it. I didn't watch the trailer. I was just like clicking the screenshots, and I was like, this kind of looks like your standard run-of-the-middle point, click adventure and all that business. You know, somebody runs off and you gotta go find them, and all that. But then I went through other screenshots and I saw one, and I was like, wait a tick, that looks exactly like. Didn't we review that actually use the search function on LinuxGameCast for once?
Ooh.
And pulled that up.
So you know how often we tested.
Pretty much. Then I found, Nightmare of the Deep.
Nightmares from the Deep.
Right.
Yep.
And
the Cursed Heart.
Then I watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, wow, really? This is, like, they took the interface, and they just slid it over to a different graphic set.
Look, light
but I mean,
adventures.
welcome to every point.
Yeah, like point-and-click adventures / hidden object game makers are better off sticking to what they know, and Artifacts Mundi appears to be stuck, nailed, and riveted to what they know.
But I mean, Ben, what you described is every point-and-click adventure game ever.
Yeah.
Actually, not the original Phantasmagoria.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
With extra sauce.
Oh, wait.
Phantasmagoria.
Myst?
Petty office
Myst?
politics.
Who was lost in Myst?
Yeah, but we can't really compare
you can't compare this game to Myst.
No.
But,
you really knocked that analogy out of the park, didn't you?
Out of the park?
Right.
Yeah.
Out of the park baseball, 15. Out of the park, 15. What is this? Out of the park baseball 15 is 2014 version of the award-winning baseball game that GameSpot creating your own baseball world and get
it's Football Manager for baseball,
soccer, football spreadsheets. I did have to put in the notes, J-Man, because I was thinking about this. Because look, this thing clocks in at like fuck you price. At 10% off, you can pick it up for 35.99 wet stinky cashes. It's normally 40 fuck you wet stinky cashes. And the reviews come from the type of people who actually play management simulation games, and
not graphs.
It raised the question: has anyone, including Chatrealm, if you want to throw that in the chats, actually met one of these people who enjoy playing management simulation games, be it football, baseball, or I don't know, anything else in real life? J-Man?
Yeah. He hangs out with that sober Irishman I met at the Gay Klansman Synagogue meetup for single moms and abortion
I
fanatics.
heard him and Peter Griffin, they like to hang out together at the bar.
Could we finally just come to the conclusion that what we need is a curling management simulation? I mean, I'll buy that.
we need a fucking proper curling game, period.
Yeah, that is true.
So what, at the end you just build a log cabin and shoot yourself?
Yes, exactly. It
even
comes with a USB
You have
gun.
to get it on with a gilf as well.
The light gun. It's like, you missed. You're crippled for the rest of your life.
But how about we
But at least you can still
let go
play
of the
curling.
outdated sports and we get into some outdated games. Behold.
So wait,
1998.
this has to do with
The
childhood, right?
game.
Vengers?
No, this is Vengers.
Or
One of
am I
those.
thinking of the girl with the dragon tattoo?
No, this is actually a driving game, as surprising as it may seem. You drive a bug-shaped car and you go into these little holes in the ground and talk to the weird-looking bugs there. And
What the fuck is that?
This is from 1998, and
This looks like
I
something that
remember-
would be awesome to play on acid.
These guys have done more drugs than us.
yeah, I remember playing the demo all the way back in 1998, and the other day this popped into my head, and I'm like, oh, what's the name of that game? And I was banging my head against the desk for like a good 2 hours. I went to sleep, came back. Lo and behold, it shows up on Steam.
It's like magic, but it's a mind-altering sandbox game that can be described as racing, role-playing adventure game with complicated storyline and stop-motion fuck you animation. But something doesn't really stick with you about that.
So I like how if you read in their little description, it's presented in 800 by 600, the only way it was meant to be played.
In video.
Yeah.
So
I remember even back then, if you tried to play it in 1024 by 768, it would make these weird stylized borders, and you would only get the 800 by 600 window.
So that's the thing. Let's see what it clocks in at. 30% off. Yes. 629.
This is a pretty old game. I'm curious to see if this is a wine port or if this is a native
DOSBox. Has to be DOSBox.
Yeah, it's probably
maybe
DOSBox.
DOSBox.
It's from 98, and Windows 98 ran on DOS, so probably a
So, yeah.
DOSBox port, yeah.
Well, at this point, I'm okay with DOSBox ports because DOSBox is a pretty solid bit of open source. so-
DOSBox is good box. But unfortunately, our horse is done with this 1998 nostalgia train.
We gotta throw him back in the flux capacitor.
Where are we going this time, Doc Brown?
Kinky.
We're going to the news.
Oh, hello there, sexy. Welcome back to the Linux Gamecast. We are now going into the news. And starting us off this week as it's sort of tradition at this point, really. It's AMD's new Catalyst 14.4 release candidate driver. The only thing new it brings is the OpenGL 4.4 support and the support for the AMD Radeon R9 295X, which is that new dual GPU card that AMD has released. No idea how it works under Linux. It's way too expensive for my blood. But yeah, they did one of the things I
bought
didn't
like 2 of them.
notice. One of the things I didn't notice with this new driver is that they
fixed some
finally
mess, right?
yeah, they fixed the CG shader MIP mapping bug that caused the Ogre 3D games to segfault at launch.
Yeah, I saw you over on a gaming group on the Googs, and you were screaming like a Catholic schoolgirl who just had sex for the first time, but yet does not know she's pregnant when you got Metro Less Light up and running.
Yeah, Metro Less Light, I got it up and running because at the same time that AMD released this one, the Fedora guys pushed the Mesa 10.1 update to the repos, and lo and behold, Metro Less Light with the open source drivers. Oh yeah.
J-Man, I heard you got 100% improvement on the
Oh
Steam
yeah.
box. Right?
So just for a larf, I decided before I upgraded the drivers on my Steam box, I'd run UEngine, and the one I had on that system was Valley. So I ran Valley on like Ultra Extreme HD Super Turbo Cock Smashing mode, and I got like 4 frames a second with like 8 times anti-aliasing and everything on like stupid. And then I upgraded the drivers, ran it again, and lo and behold, I got an extra frame per second. So
You were swimming in frames.
But I ran it on more sane settings too. It's a marginal performance increase. Don't expect this to blow your mind.
Yeah,
but at least
so
you
what
can
I'm
play your
taking
ogre
away
games.
from this is...
you can play Open Morrowind on it.
Right. I was reading in Linux_Gaming. I knew that the closed-sourced drivers were absolute rubbish. I did not realize the extent. People were typing in, with the chatting and the things they do on the internet out here, saying things like, I can almost play Left 4 Dead 2 at an acceptable frame rate, and they were happy about this. P-Man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's Stockholm syndrome.
Most of the previous FGLRX releases have had one big, huge problem, which is frame pacing. The amount of time a specific frame stays on screen. And with the previous releases, it was all over the freaking place. It still is. There's still plenty of frame latency with this particular driver, but it's getting better. Even Portal 1 is not as choppy as it used to be, so good on them, I suppose. I guess they're taking the Steam machine seriously.
Well, I also guess at the end of the day, those proprietary drivers can suck it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of cocks in one's
Proprietary.
mouth, there's not anything wrong with, unless it's an entire bag of dicks, and that's just being greedy. Randy Pitchford writes in response to Two-Tone Pony Pink. Two-Tone Pony Pink said, so, what happened with talking to people over the weekend about porting Borderlands 2 to Linux? ? Randy responds, it happened. I talked to some people. Because he talks like fucking Christopher Bale.
I talked to some people about it today, too. I wouldn't get your hopes up. Where is she? Where's Rachel?
Seems there's no port, Batman.
No.
And
There isn't.
that's what I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, wait, who is this guy? I've never heard of him. Then I do the clicking on the Twitters, and I was like, wait, are you the fuck mother president of this company? So, what do you mean you've talked to some people? You need to walk in to the room, lay your cock out on the table, as is tradition, while reciting Team America, fuck yeah.
America.
Then you do some presidenting, because you're the president. And that's what... America! So,
Fuck yeah!
at the end of the day, I do say, good on you just for being honest and not, like, cocking us around like some people with goat simulators.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
But also, I honestly didn't expect Borderlands 2 port. So, J-Man, P-Man, who's got thoughts?
I mean, it would be nice if, like, we could rile up most of the Linux gaming base out there and just spam the sucker with emails. Just be like, where Borderlands 2? Where Borderlands 2? Until he eventually caves, but I mean, I don't think we're...
P-Man, do you think they should worry about future-proofing that engine?
Yeah, they should probably worry about it, and I kind of gave him the numbers, the whole shebang about, 80 million.
Right.
No, but he told you to do it yourself.
Yeah, we'll get to that. 80 million Linux users, 1.5% of which are on Steam, and I flat out told him that's 1 million sales that won't be happening now. The motherfucker turns to me and says, why don't you try and do it yourself then?
All right,
Motherfucker,
give us
I'm
the
not
source.
a Linux developer. Yeah. I'm a Linux gamer that has been deprived of games for a good 2 decades. I want good games, and Borderlands 2, from what I hear, appears to be a good game, so I don't think you have to worry about not selling things.
Though I do have to add on to your little anecdote there. A couple posts down, someone says, well, that's super condescending. And he's like, well, I thought it was encouraging.
He's a cunt.
I mean, seriously, all you have to do is give us the source. We'll take the source. We'll take the lion's share of the cut, and we'll contact either Ryan or Flibbity Jibbity Boo. Give them the little bit, and we'll give you a fully functioning, working port of it in less than... whenever it gets the fuck done. But yeah, I mean, that guy did seem like a bit of an ass on the business, but free, as in beer.
Oh, yes. Well, not quite free, though pretty much. So this is a cool little project. This is Diablo, and this is much in the sense of OpenRA or OpenMW. This is a complete engine recode of the Diablo 1 engine, and it's pretty cool. I would have preferred they try and do that with Diablo 2, which was a much superior game. But
they'll get to
what
it
do they? What do
eventually.
they have? They have CEL, CL2 decoding, level rendering, level generation, level switching, and town NPCs. You can even go a little further into the initial dungeon, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
One thing that really stands out though is they're using the Open Morrowind coding standards, and I thought
that was a nice touch. Yeah.
But this is cool. Check it out. If they have a GitHub page if you want to contribute to this.
What if I wanted to go to the website? What do I
you can go to freeablo.com, or you could check our show notes where all the links to all these stories are.
Brilliant!
But you know, I love me some Dogecoin.
Yes, Dogecoin,
bro.
Litecoin, and apparently Bitcoin, because now
K-fish.
you can play an RPG while having your PC mined for Bitcoins. This is what the guys
this looks like it's
Coin
state of the
RPG.
art out of like my N64.
Yeah, it's state of the art.
This is
Unity
like fucking
tastic.
Banjo-Kazooie.
This looks like my
It's
32X.
It's a state of the art Unity tastic MMO that you go around doing MMO type things while mining for Bitcoins, and the game takes a percentage. So yes, mine for coins while we play a game.
Then, though. I have a question. Since Unity games basically use all your computer resources, what is left to mine Bitcoins?
Well, you know,
explain this to me.
This is Coin RPG, and that's basically it in a nutshell. But I'm reminded about that. Remember, billions of years ago, when the future's past, we played that one chess game with AI that, like, clocked all.
Yeah.
And the developer was like, "No, that's the AI," and I was like, "No, it's not."
You.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. You can pick it up at Coin RPG if you just want to give them some of your the chances of you mining a Bitcoin
sort of.
these days or not.
Yep.
So yeah, neat.
Have fun with that.
Indeed.
Good luck.
Anyway, all I gotta say is bye.
Bye. No, we're not doing black and white.
Bye.
We don't care if you're black or white.
That's right.
Apparently, no.
Let's throw that in there because, boom, we skipped it.
We skipped it. So while Vengo hunts for, yeah, there we go. This is Aztez.
Color is expensive, you know.
You know, it looks like it's written in freaking
Flash,
fucking action script, yeah. But so this is interesting. It is a beat 'em up, so it's like Guacamelee, but without the whitewashed racism and genocide. But you play as Aztecs. You try and build your Aztec society in a strategy mode, and then when the Chillins are rising up and trying to overthrow you, you go in and you beat the ever-loving shit out of them. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about this game at this point. I mean, is it even on sale? I don't recall. No, it's not even out yet. It's coming in 2014.
They're working on that.
From Ben Ruiz and Matt Wagner.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It looks a little more than a little inspired by a game called Mad World on the Wii, which has the exact same graphical
color
choice.
scheme.
Yeah, it's black, white, and red.
Black and white.
And it's a beat 'em up. So
it's totally ripping off Citizen Kane.
That too.
Oh, what's black, white, and red? None in a blender.
Many answers to that question. But yeah, going back to your bye. I can't think of any other NSYNC song.
Art project, game, who knows? But it's available.
Both.
NSYNC release trailer. Let's take a look at this. Stop motion animation. All this was handcrafted with love. And your goal is to match all those little pieces and drop them in the hole. But what that does is modify the soundtrack. Because when we're listening to it right now, when I first listened, I was like, what the hell's wrong with the soundtrack? And after a bit of reading, yeah, that's what's wrong with it. This is not available on Steam. 4 buttons is all you need. Handcrafted love, scores, and all that business. You can try to fuck with the sound or not with the sound. It clocks in at $4.99. What stinky cash is? I gave it a bit of a playthrough. I was like, maybe on a mobile, maybe not really my dice, but they were kind enough to send us some keys. P-Man, what are your thoughts on it?
It is, in this day and age, it's unique. I'll give them that. It's not exactly my type of game because I was never really into Guitar Hero. So
You mean Frets
if
on
you like-
Fire, right?
Yeah. So if you like, or you have a kid,
you gotta hold your
wait.
keyboard like this.
If you have
Yes, you
a
do.
kid,
I played that
You
game
have-
for 20 minutes trying to figure that out.
if you have like a kid or someone who is not really into video games, give them this. They'll enjoy it.
So,
Yeah.
Pierce, art project or game?
I'm going to say it's a fart project because I'm very, very clever and I have nothing to say about this game. It looks interesting. I'm not going to play it though. It doesn't look like
I
it's
mean,
mine.
I like that they bothered with the stop motion animation and all that. We don't really see
Yeah,
something.
but didn't was it child rape?
Yes, child rape, yes.
No,
Child rape.
Vanger. That's what it's called. Because I think Vanger, Martin Vanger from fucking Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. But anyways,
No, if
coming
Avenger
up
only
next-
has that in the menus.
Coming up next, we trek out to space, the final frontier. Hail Hydra.
In your pants.
And we're back. And we're in space! Throwing space cheers at Space, the Last Federation, developed by Space Arson Games using the Space Unity engine. And it will cost you $19.99 space bucks. So, what is it? From the creators of AI War, Fleet Combat, and Bionic Dudes comes an all-new grand strategy title with turn-based combat set in a deep simulation of an entire solar system. There's billions of inhabitants. You are a last of the murdered race, determined to unify or destroy 8 others.
You're like really
So-
big guauls.
Yeah, it's Hail Hydra.
Yep, you play as a
Hail
Hydra.
Hydra. And as Pedro said in his little article write-up, which you should totally read at LinuxGameCast.com. But, yes, we have our crazy-ass chair explanation and our 4-chair metric. 1 chair means that it's shit. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. And 4 chairs means that you're liable to start seeing pink Christina Aguilera monsters after playing this game.
Promises,
far too
promises.
And of course, we have our categories Doom, mixed with the working shiny and sounds controls and fun. So then, for the Last Federation, you get to play Hydra Picard. How about some shiny and sounds?
Well, if I'm playing
Or
Picard,
thanks
I
for
have to
working
point
it.
out that, the Force is strong with this one. And you'd have to keep in mind, we're 3 separate people on 3 different distributions, really 4. And, yeah.
Really, 2.
Haha. Let's give it the business. On our Ubuntu, this is what we test, because they like to throw that in their 1204 LTS, running a pair of 770 business cards from NVIDIA. Octo-core box. No issues with this. None whatsoever, other than your standard Unity lot, which means that things are going to get loud and zzz, because you're playing a very intense... No, you're not really, but either way.
This engine
Very
can't
Four
handle
chairs. 4 chairs.
Whoa,
Make it so, number 2.
Yeah, asshole number 2. So on my Fedora 2670 superclock powered AMD box at my feet here, it works without a hitch. Starts up, runs, doesn't do that stupid thing where it eats up both of your monitors or shuts down one of your monitors. So that's all good.
It's Unity.
So I'm gonna
yeah.
give that 4 whole chairs.
And from the man who doesn't remember when Unity used to do that.
I do, but thankfully they fixed it. And on both my calculator with an AMD 5650 HD mobility, and on my 10-year-old PC with an NVIDIA 7600, it ran out of the box. No problems. 4 chairs.
All right, so that's 4 chairs for mix with the working. We haven't had a lot of those lately. It's kind of weird. So, coming up next, Shiny and Sounds. Ven, did this tickle your eye assholes?
I mean, look at it. It's brilliant. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful!
And also from the creators of AI War. Oh, what more can you expect? Well, I'll tell you what I can expect. Fix your fuck-mothering color scheme on that layout. You have, like, what is it? Why does every space game have to have a space menu, A? And it's going to be in the Battlestar Galactica cutoff thing, but you have green upon green in your menu. I'm not colorblind, but I kind of wish I was, because then I would have a reason not have to say, what am I trying to click on here?
They do have a colorblind mode, though.
Because raisins. The ship and the models and all that business, they're there. I mean, J-Man, P-Man are probably going to just really get into some background art, but I'm going to let them do that. It does have sounds, but it's like chip art punk, like there's Slayer, as is tradition. I had to put that on the background in order to deal with it. No voice acting when you would expect it, like the tutorial. But then you have like random. It's like, oh, you need to do this. It's like, what the hell? What? Prepare me for this. So I'm going to say, for Shiny and Sounds, with all that naysayingness, I'm going to give it 2 chairs. Some kind of a mess score on that, J-Man. Are you going to improve?
Yeah, I know. Speaking of the voice actor, she sounds really, really disinterested while she's reading her lines. Like, oh yeah, they'd probably make a good ally, but yeah. Oh yeah, they're dangerous in large numbers. All right, yeah. Can I get my paycheck now? But one thing I noticed visually is when you zoom out to get a good look at a scenario, everything really looks all samey. It's a bit weird. You really need to rely on that minimap. And as for the soundtrack, I mean, it's very forgettable. I kind of forgot that there was a soundtrack until Ben mentioned it. And I'm like, oh yeah. I suppose there was one of those. How about that? And of course, I brought this up last week, but them backgrounds.
Yeah.
Lots of movement in the foreground, all static in the background.
Planets in space do not move, human.
No, of course. You know, everything's locked in position. That's how gravity works. And gravity also gives us 2 chairs for Shiny and Sounds.
It's a binary score.
Okay, so I'm going to be a bit nicer because I thought that the chiptune background music was actually fitting for what it is. And
what
really,
is it, Pedro?
Really, the only thing about this game that is really, really jarring are the backgrounds. You get the ships moving and bullets flying one place to the other.
And the...
Yeah, pew, pew, pew all the way, but the backgrounds, they don't move. Come on, guys, you made bionic dudes. 3 chairs.
3 chairs, that's very generous. But it doesn't do anything to raise the score of 2 chairs for Shiny and Sounds. Up next is the controls.
The controls, they work. No issues. Ding. 1 bell, still jamming. Controls work. Seriously, for what they are, there's no issues with that. It's turn-based strategy. If you manage to fuck up the controls in turn-based strategy, you have a plethora, nay, a cornucopia of other issues that you need to deal with. Going to ding it at... I'm going to be an ass about this, but I'm going to dig it because you apparently never played it on a ginormous screen with your gerbil, because adjusting the shield meter, speed meter, and all that is way over char, and all the other stuff is way down char. Giggity. And moving back and forwards, even though it's turn-based, you got plenty of time to do it, but I'm in a combat. We need to do that. That mentality never fails to escape me. I found that trudgery of moving back and forwards, and back and forwards, and back and forwards. Also giggity, but Seriously, I can't fault it because all the other controls, especially I do like the mechanic of being able to vector your ship around. Hold down that shift button. You're like, all right, I want to go here, but I want to come around here before I make my play so I can pew, pew, pew at this. And I was like, that's kind of neat. I enjoyed it. For the controls, I'll give it a treat to it. That's what it deserves.
See, I didn't like the snake thing you had to do. I would have preferred to be like they give you a movement quota and then you can just say go here, go here, go here, go here. That's enough for me to ding at a chair. But yeah, the controls are all right for what they are. I mean, I like Ben said, it's a turn-based strategy game. It's pretty hard to screw that up. But Ben also brings up a very good point with the whole power distribution systems being up at the top left-hand corner, because that's not where it belongs at all.
Yep.
So those two interface gripes are really my main thing. So I'll revise my previous score and give it 3 chairs for control.
Yeah.
No?
The UI could have certainly been a bit better, especially coming from the age of FTL, that everyone's played FTL, everyone's used to FTL.
Unless they have an Android device.
Yes.
Oh, dangly parts.
You should, FTL guys, you should get on that. But for the Lest Federation, it has the exact same problem that Bionic Doos had with the camera controls. Namely, if you push the cursor to one side of the screen, if you have an extended desktop setup, if you push the cursor into one of the sides of the screen and it leaves the window while it's still in focus, it kind of freaks out and doesn't know what to do, so it goes back and forth. That needs to be fixed. You guys fixed it on Bionic Do, so why haven't you, released the game with that fix already in? 3 chairs.
All right, so that's 3 whole chairs for control. And finally, our last subjective category, fun.
Well, we do have fun, and
we hate fun. That's why we play games.
No fun, we shall not have fun. No, but I'm genuinely thinking about people who know the shows, and they know I honestly just loathe turn-based strategy games. And new people who are like, oh, well, he's kind of being rough on this. It's good to have somebody like me who loathes turn-based strategy, because who knows if this is going to be the game that changes my brain organ. Now, I'll tell you, there is a game that has garnered my interest. It's called Wasteland 2, and it's turn-based strategy. This, however, is not Wasteland 2. With the fun, no, I didn't enjoy it. I mean, I gave it a solid, hour, and so it was like, okay, we'll learn how to shoot the ships and the planets and all that. Then as soon as it started becoming like, oh, inventory spreadsheet simulator 2014, I was like, no, I don't have time to invest in this. It didn't tickle my eye pussies either. I mean, if it was like, oh, the graphics are gorgeous, and oh, the sounds are amazing, or something, that would have held my interest, or just maybe the story or anything like that. Outside of that, it's not there. You got little ships, and you run around in the planets, and oh, they're developing technologies, and you got to cut them off, curb stomp them, call Spock up and be like, I need some red matter, bro, and Spock shows up, and he's like, boom, fuck your planet. But at the end of the day, for fun, this might not come as a surprise. 1 chair. J-Man.
I actually do like turn-based strategy games, but I don't like political turn-based strategy games. I don't like having to maintain relationships with people and parties.
I'm
just because I don't even do that in real life. Why would I want to do this in a game? Fuck people. I mean, to this game's credit, I did lose about half an hour in there and thinking that I spent about 5 minutes. So there's that. It has the potential to be something of a time sink for sure. But really, it boils down to this is not my type of game. When I heard we were reviewing this game, I'm like, this is going to be one of those I have to choke it down and play it for long enough to form a decent opinion about it.
Kind of like your girlfriend.
Yeah. So ultimately, as Ben aptly put it in the notes, and I had to copy him on that, I don't particularly like political turn-based strategy games, and this did nothing to change that. So I will give this 1 share for fun.
Burn. Space burn.
Yeah. So
Space burn.
From Space
I'm
Portugal on
going to
Space Skype.
be I'm going to be the one throwing the wrench in this well-oiled machine and say that I enjoyed it.
Have you even watched this show?
Well-lubed machine, maybe not well-oiled.
With tears.
They went for a
it's from Rob
grand
Ford.
strategy type of game. I almost want to call it 4X, but it's not. It's 3X. It's expand, exploit, and exterminate. It doesn't have the exploration bit so much, but it is, for what it is. It has some very interesting politics and some devious ways of actually getting to the end. Namely, if you get to the end and you have like 1 or 2 planets that don't want to join your federation, one viable tactic is to convince every other one of your allies to dump toxic waste on that planet. So eventually you exterminate the entire planet and you win.
Couldn't you just drop a Brazilian in there?
I don't think you can use
only if you spend
AIDS
some
on
time
these
in the
species,
Amazonian jungle. But, for what it is, and for the price that it is, this type of games usually considerably more expensive, namely Civilization and Dominions. So for $20, yeah, this is pretty good game. 3 chairs.
All right, so if we total that up, it is 1 chair for fun because Vin and I hate it. But if we tally everything up, this finally devolves and mushes and collapses into a 2-chair game. And if we bring up chair explanation, that's meh. So if this is your dice, you should check this out. Pedro seemed to like it, so you may derive some fun from it. But if you're of Ven and mine's persuasion, then I'd stay away from it. 20,
not going to
$20 is a bit
retract
steep.
anything I said, but definitely at the end of the day, take that shot.
All right.
If I had billions of years of time and nothing better to do, I could see getting involved in something like this. But it's just not enough there. There's not enough content. Plus the turn-based strategy thing. Ugh. That also killed it for me because I am not a fan of it. Nothing about the story enthralled me, and the graphics were like. So, and then again, being on Unity, right, P-Man?
Yep, it is Unity.
That make
Unity.
Metro Last Light running on our render octo-core render box dual 770s. It's like
the 4A engine is super well optimized. Unity is not.
Unity, the box is fucking vibrating, but I'm not blaming this game. I'm blaming Levi Bond.
Yeah. So this game has one thing I actually enjoy, and it's how I played it mostly. It was on my netbook, which was you download the game through Steam, but after you have the files, it's DRM free. If you want to take it out of Steam and put it on another PC or carry it around wherever you go, you can. So that is also part of why I gave it 3 chairs for the fun, because it is a very, very good way to do things, and I think more devs should probably consider offering the game like this. Just saying.
That's a nice little touch.
Well, that's doing it for that. But J-Man, what distro do you
Coming
run,
up
bro?
next, we go beyond Earth
In the hate mail section.
and yeah.
And now it's time for us here at LGC to start hating on all the mails. That's right, it's the hate mail. So, just a quick reminder, if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so by going to LinuxGameCast.com, pressing the contact button, that lovely, lovely contact button on the nav bar there. Just fill out your name, fill out your email, give us a subject, give us your message, prove you're smarter than a bot maybe, and away we go. Unless, of course, you're trying to promote some crowdfunding campaign or even a Steam Greenlight. Is that still on? Probably. But yeah, if you're trying to promote one of those, just make sure to include a Linux prototype that we can play with, because if you don't, we're not gonna mention your shit. All right? Cool. So first up, we got some Beyond Earth.
Earth. You gotta
Welcome
welcome
to
them to Earth. This is Benel, and he says, "What do you think about Sid Meier's next Civilization game, Beyond Earth, supporting Linux at launch? Looks pretty fucking good, no? Well, obviously you didn't listen to our fucking show last week, where we
Apparently
talked about
not.
this in depth. You silly, silly bitch."
Also, yes. So up next, Viper's Linux Station, if that is his real name. What are you guys using for a distro?
Zenwalk.
Well-
Zenwalk all the things.
Yeah, Linspire. We exclusively use Linspire for everything.
Personally over here, our main operating system is, BSys. So either use that or get the fuck out. That's all I got to say about that. I hear T-Man wrote in.
Yes, Mr. Terry. And there's an update for Retro Booster.
That
Hi,
Welsh,
guys. Both the full game and the free demo have been updated to version 1.1. The main additions are widescreen support, welcome to 2014, Terry, and timers for speedrunners. Okay, YouTube bait right there. Don't know if I'll make it for the show tomorrow. I guess he didn't. And I'm showing Retro Booster at cogscon.com, and don't really know when I'll make it home. Anyway, have a good show if I don't talk to you.
Well, how dare you for not fucking showing up?
God damn it, Terry. But yeah, this is Retro Booster. It's a pretty good game. If you guys...
Made by a friend of the show and former NASA employee,
Yeah.
Terry.
The one and
always
only.
around. Version 1.1. It's a new thing. Grab the demo. Give it a go. Have fun with it. Vote for it on Greenlight if that's still there, because apparently it can.
Because it's too
available
niche for
on
a
the server
service,
if you want a
so-
client.
And Terry, a bit of word to the wise. Don't tell us that you might not be in the chat room, because that's like saying, make fun of me.
Well, the man does like shoving Valencia oranges up his asshole, so who knows?
Don't judge him!
No, I don't judge. That's Chat Realm's job.
What about
But this last
Denny
one comes from...
Aliazis?
Oh, hi, Denny.
Oh,
Denny
look, you can get
Aliazis-
breakfast, eggs, and racism all in one.
Uh-huh. As a content creator myself, I'm curious how you make your shows with such high quality on Linux. I use Wirecast and Adobe Suite on Windows, but Windows, well, let's just say Windows is not a stable platform, and I'd really love to do more of my video production under Linux. Tell me
Oh,
about the bash
irony.
script loop you have for OpenShot, Ben.
Irony.
No,
How many times a minute does it autosave?
right. Auto save is best save. Something maybe we want to address. When it comes to production quality, I mean, I don't know if you really watched the show. Maybe you have. A lot of that, I mean, is shit in, shit out. That's what we aim for. And we don't, it's like, oh, we'll fix it all in post. My whole goal, because I'm incredibly lazy, is to make sure it's good coming in and it's also good coming out. But you're looking at it from a Windows perspective. We are not end users, not by a long shot. No, nine. Linux user, not end user, which, not saying those two, fuck in a church or anything like that. There's no finished melted project that you could say, okay, I'm going to take my skill set and apply it to this, and this. Collection of scripts, a lot of just me knowing and being in the business for almost a decade of doing voice work and working around people infinitely more talented than me in picking up bits and applying that to Linux tools that are just a jangled mess that somehow we manage to spit out a show at the end of the day and take that shot. Right. I really wish I could just boom, here's a studio for you. It's not there. We're probably not even just us. I mean, in reality, you're probably 5 to 6 years away from where you could transfer your skill set over to something like that. The only way I'm able to get away with it is I've kind of been doing this for 5 or 6 years just under Linux, so I've grown up with the technology. And by the technology, we're the only people doing that. P-Man, thoughts, hints, allegations?
I can say from personal experience of trying to actually do something with recording games and putting it up on YouTube, you need, besides the knowledge that Ven has acquired over these past 5 to 6 years, you also need the appropriate hardware, something which I do not have.
And lots of cocaine. You can't. You
Lots of
surely
cocaine.
can't discount
That is the secret
kilograms
sauce.
of cocaine that goes into the production of this show.
Speaking of kilograms, it's time to kill this show and cue that music. Because I am Vin Stone. You can always find me cleverly disguised at Vin Stone on the Twitternet, plus Vin Stone on the G+, and yes, Linux Nero, I do voice work. So does your mom. And this brilliant man.
Yeah, I just farted on my ball and it made me bounce up a little. You can find me at The Burning Fool on Twitter or plus Jordan Svung on Google+. And this...
There's the mental
Mexican-
picture I'll remember. Hi, I'm Pedro Mateus. You can find me at Unaccounted For on Twitter or plus Pedro Mateus on Google+.
And
Breathe, Pedro.
we'll
Breathe.
just watch Pedro
Breathe in my fart gas.
asphyxiate in fart
No.
gas. Die.
I'm just glad I'm all the way across the planet.
Die.
Die.
Exterminate. Oh, look. Dexterity.
Can you do that with the other hand? I don't think so.
I can't do it in